Everyone's saying Rent2SA is dead, but is it?
In this video, we're going to break that down, but first of all, we've just picked up the keys to our latest Rent2SA 2-bed. Let's get that done first. There's a lot of negative downward pressure on the Rent2SA strategy right now, especially in 2025, and that's for a number of reasons which we'll discuss later. But for now, we're living proof that deals still can be obtained. We're going to show you around and we'll break down the figures in a bit.
So this property is a 2-bed flat, and we've got a nice living and dining area as well because we like to have a lot of space in them. What we feel with a lot of people when they seem to go wrong, one of their first downfalls, is spending too much or spending too long doing a setup. We've absolutely got it on lockdown now because, as you know, we've been doing this for a couple of years for ourselves and for other people. We've managed to pick up the keys yesterday at 4:30. It's now 12 o'clock the next day and we're pretty much done. We can do this because we've got great teams as well around us that have been able to help with things like furnishings, cleanings, and just getting everything ready as quick as possible so we can literally get this out rented tomorrow.
Rent2SA in 2025 is certainly not dead, but it is definitely harder. It's much more saturated. There's an extremely low barrier to entry, and there's teachers and courses and gurus promising the world very cheaply, which means that everyone's flooding the market and trying to do the same thing. For multiple reasons, this leads to complete failure. First of all, they're not even able to fulfill or deliver on their promises. Second of all, they're getting into bad deals in the first place. They know nothing about their target market, the numbers, the location, and all these things that go into the mixture of a pot to make a good deal, which means just complete disaster for 99% of people in this industry.
The reason why this is a good deal for us and why rent to rent isn't dead for us is because of all the things Ed just spoke about. We have mitigated all of that risk. So things like location, we know this area, we know it really works well, we know what the rents are, we know what we're going to get from it, so we can be really confident moving forward with this deal knowing that it's going to be positive. Also, target market's massive for us. We've hit a niche with contractors, but you really need to make sure you know what you're doing. If you're going to be doing high-end and luxury, for us, we've always done contractors, long terms, direct bookings. We keep it nice and simple. We don't spend thousands on really expensive furniture and wallpapers and mad designs because that's not what our client wants.
So we spoke about how it's initially harder to get into the space and obtain a deal. We spoke about how it's super important to crunch the numbers and make sure you're accurate within your deals. But in 2025, it's also a lot harder to make sure that you're profitable for a number of reasons and where we're being squeezed from. So first of all, post-COVID, nightly rates were super high. There was like a staycation boom throughout the UK, which meant that profitability was great. Following that, saturation has hit and nightly rates have either suppressed or at least stagnated. And coupled with rising costs, it means that profitability and margin has shrunk. Cleaners, maintenance, rent, and all of the bills, energy, for example, has all gone up. And again, that's just further squeezing margins. Some other limitations in 2025 are there's a massive council crackdown throughout the country. Here in particular, we're having to pay double council tax for SA properties, which is really, again, squeezing our margins. Another massively important topic, which is a little bit of a grey area right now, is the associated VAT. Now, a lot of people were running on what is called the TOM scheme, which is incredibly complex and is not for me to even go into, but it really helped the profitability of a Rent2SA business. Now it seems like that or the ability to utilise that scheme is probably not going to be around for long, and that topic's an incredibly complex space right now, but I would strongly advise to not utilise the TOM scheme, because if you do, you are at huge risk of being chased and backdated for money from HMRC that they might deem that you have owed them prehistorically. That is not a situation you want to be in. So for us, the way we've mitigated that is perfectly blended with our long-term strategy with contractors. Long stay contracts have a different VAT applicable to short stays. So we typically pay VAT at the full rate on the first 28 days, and then we pay a massively reduced rate on any days stayed after that. A lot of our bookings end up being 3-6 months and sometimes even longer. So we're able to mitigate that and make sure that we still remain profitable.
So if you aren't following us on social media, then you should be, because we actually leaked all the numbers for this property straight after our viewing. Let's have another recap of that video.
875 rent,
50 quid for a car parking space outside the front, 925 call it. I reckon 1 grand with your water, 1.2 with your electricity, 125 with your broadband. We're missing something. Council tax, it's double here. Small those, 300. I reckon 1,550, 1.6k a month goes for 2.7, 1.1k profit a month.
Are you happy with that?
It's a deal.
So Ed, is Rent2SA 2025 dead?
Well, if the truth be told, rent to rent already has a super shady stigma around it for both operators and landlords, but 2025, a lot more people in the mix trying to get some of the money. You've got council crackdown, you've got HMRC on your ass, and it is all making things a lot harder, but with the right systems, processes, people all in place, it's still profitable.
Rent to rent has absolutely changed our lives. If you follow our YouTube channel, you'll see some of the mad things we're doing now and these huge HMO developments, and that's all been because we started in Rent2SA.
She's right. Right here is exactly where it started for me, and we're now going on to do big developments as well as operating and managing our own service accommodation management company. If you are in the SA space and you're struggling for whatever reason, then we manage over 60 units right now, and we could potentially help manage yours as well to make sure that you too are profitable.
And if you don't want your property managed, then make sure you like and subscribe below.
Do that anyway.